Now guys, I got some bad news. Darnell Richmond has suffered a couple injuries. He has a concussion. He tore both his ACLs. He tore both his PCLs. He tore both his rotator cuffs. Broke both his arms and broke both of his legs, as well as breaking his back. Bro is completely broken. He's a shell of his former self. Only a 36 overall, also known as a 0 overall. 0 stars in all of his attributes. He's a shell of his former self. Darnell Richmond is not the guy he used to be. However, we can rebuild Darnell. We can get Darnell back to his previous greatness. And how are we going to be doing that? Well, Darnell's starting off as a 0 overall, and for every point he scores, that's going to be +1 upgrade. So how it's going to work is for every goal Darnell scores, that's going to be 2 attribute upgrades. So it's going to be either 2 to deking, hand-eye, passing, puck control. I can choose whatever I want. More than likely, it's going to be offensive awareness early on in this video. For every assist he gets, that's going to be another point. On top of goals and assists, there's other ways for Darnell to get attribute upgrades. Every shot he takes is going to be worth 0.25 of an upgrade. So basically, every 4 shots is going to be 1 attribute upgrade for Darnell. Now, you might be wondering, well, which team is going to be taking Darnell Richmond on? Which team is Darnell Richmond going to be rebounding with? Well, obviously, it's got to be the worst team in the league. So Darnell Richmond's got to work himself back. Like, he's dealing with many injuries, and they were all incredibly serious injuries. So he's clearly not the player he used to be, so he has to start out on the worst team, and that's going to be the San Jose Sharks. On top of him starting out on the worst team, he has to start out on the 4th line. Now, more than likely, this will probably be the only season he plays on the 4th line, because let's be reasonable here. If he plays on the 4th line every single season, bro's never going to record any points, and this video will be about 4 hours long. So after this season, he's going to be moving up into the top 6, and that's where he's going to be staying for a majority of his career. This San Jose Sharks team, obviously not expected to do too much, and honestly, that's not going to help us because of what our other challenge is. We got to try to win 5 Stanley Cups with Darnell Richmond before he reaches 99 overall. So before he maxes out every single attribute category, he's got to win at least 5 Stanley Cups. And if he doesn't do that, well, that's just the way of the road, and that's going to be really disappointing. Without further ado, it's time to simulate season number 1 here. But while we simulate, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 76k by the end of the month. We already hit 75k, so we might as well move on to a new goal, and that's going to be 76k. So if you're watching the content, you clearly enjoy it, so you might as well be subscribed. Now, it's really unfortunate, but season number 1 for Darnell Richmond didn't really go according to plan. 19th in the entire league, a 37, 32, and 13 record, so it doesn't look like we're going to be winning a Stanley Cup this season. That's because we didn't even make the playoffs, and not making the playoffs, that's going to be hurting Darnell Richmond quite a bit, because the one thing I haven't mentioned is playoff points are worth double. All playoff goals, assists, and even shots are going to be worth double what they're normally worth in the regular season. But Darnell Richmond, what were you up to this season? Let's be honest, you're a 0 overall, so I'm not expecting too much, but 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points, including 40 shots. I mean, you're getting some upgrades here. Not too many, but you know what? It's better than nothing. So between the 2 goals worth 4 points, the 1 assist worth 1 point, that means he's going to be at 5 points, and then we combine his 40 shots, which are going to equal 10 points. Darnell Richmond's going to be receiving 15 attribute upgrades. As you can see, this video is going to take a little bit, but I've also been notified from the San Jose Sharks they have no plan on bringing Darnell Richmond back to the team next season. Incredibly disrespectful, so we're going to have to spin the wheel of NHL teams to figure out where Darnell is going to be going next. Now, that was incredibly disrespectful from the San Jose Sharks, telling Darnell Richmond he can't return to the team, so I guess Darnell's going to have to move on, and he's moving on to greener pastures. He's got the Colorado Avalanche. Now, I can certainly live with that. So can Darnell. So Darnell Richmond's going to be getting 15 attribute upgrades here, and I'm going to be honest, until he gets his offensive awareness up, we're not going to be upgrading anything else. So his offensive awareness is going to be going up to a 51. That's still not going to do too much for him, but that is going to allow him to produce some more shots, goals, and assists. Offensive awareness is by far the most important stat. Okay, now I know I said that Darnell Richmond is going to be jumping into the top 6, but let's be completely honest. I don't think he's ready to jump into the top 6 yet. So maybe he stays on the bottom 6 until he reaches a 50 overall, and then once he reaches a 50 overall, then he can move on to the 2nd line, and then once he reaches a 75 overall, then he can move on to the 1st line, because he doesn't deserve to be on this top 6 right now. Truthfully, he doesn't even deserve to be on the 3rd line right now, but you know what? That's where he's going to be playing. Darnell Richmond's joined the Colorado Avalanche. Let's see if this team can make the postseason and get Darnell his first cup. So with the help of Nathan MacKinnon and of course Darnell Richmond, the Colorado Avalanche are going to make the postseason, 12th in the entire league, a 42, 31, 9 record, and you already know Darnell Richmond, he must have been putting up some amazing numbers if this team's going to be making the postseason. He's not the top scorer, maybe he's not the 2nd best, not even the 3rd best, but you know what? Darnell Richmond obviously contributed a ton to this team, and what do you contribute? 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points, and 58 shots. That's what Darnell Richmond does. So based on his regular season stats, Darnell Richmond's going to be receiving 20 attribute upgrades, but you know what? Since this team made the postseason, he could pick up a couple more here, and every stat that he records in the postseason, they're going to be worth double, as I mentioned earlier. So we're taking on the Dallas Stars in the 1st round. Darnell, I'm going to be completely honest, I'm not really expecting you to produce too too much here, but you know what? I've seen crazier things happen. Now, picking up a Stanley Cup right here would be absolutely huge for Darnell. He's looking to pick up 5 in the video, so if you can pick one up in season number 2, that's going to be ideal. And I believe we are going to be taking down the Dallas Stars here, and it looks like that's going to be happening. We're moving on to round 2. Colorado Avalanche are taking down the Dallas Stars. They're moving on to our next matchup. That's going to be the Vancouver Canucks. The only concern I have with Colorado is they have Darnell Richmond on the bottom 6, and when that man's on the ice, he's definitely a liability. Like, we have to remember, we're not talking about 99 overall Darnell Richmond, the greatest player in NHL history. We're talking about Darnell Richmond after 6 career injuries. Bro had 6 different career-ending injuries, but yet he's still in the league, and we've won back-to-back games. Can we make it 3 straight? Yes, we can. We're jumping into game number 7, an elimination game for both teams right here. Who's going to be coming out on top? Well, obviously, it's going to be the Colorado Avalanche, because this team's going to win 4 straight games. We're exchanging goals in the first period. In the second, Vancouver's taking over. Carson Soucy and Brock Besser are both picking up goals here, and in the third period, Teddy Bluger's going to be picking up another one, and it looks like the Colorado Avalanche are going to be falling, so Darnell's not going to be picking up a Stanley Cup quite yet. So Darnell, it was your first time in the postseason. Let's see what you did here. Not expecting too much from you, but I am expecting a bit of something. Okay, you did nothing. You took 12 shots though, and that's going to equal 3 attribute upgrades, and then we're going to times that by 2, so you're going to be receiving 6. So after we factor in his postseason stats and his regular season stats, 26 upgrades for Darnell Richmond, and all 26 are going to be going to offensive awareness. Now, even though the Colorado Avalanche just made the postseason with Darnell Richmond, they've informed him they're not going to bring him back to the team. Apparently his veteran presence was just too strong in the locker room and they don't want him there. So now Darnell's going to be joining the Columbus Blue Jackets. Darnell Richmond's joined the Columbus Blue Jackets. You know what? He's going to make a difference for that franchise. With the upgrades he's getting to offensive awareness, that's going to be moving up to a 77. And with his offensive awareness at a 77, he's definitely going to start taking more shots. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him pick up 5 goals. Alright, so Darnell Richmond, you know what? You saw a little bit of progression last season, picking up 2 goals and 2 assists for 4 points. But 4 points isn't enough for me. You have 77 overall in offensive awareness, 5 goals minimum this season. I have incredibly high expectations for you, and making the postseason with Columbus, probably not going to be an easy task because I think NHL 25 severely disrespects this team. I find in most simulations they seem to finish bottom 5, and that's clearly not what they're doing right now in real life. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens here. Columbus should be lucky though. They don't get disrespected as much as the St. Louis Blues, who constantly finish bottom 3 in every simulation I do. It's just very disrespectful. Almost as disrespectful as what they do to Robert Thomas, as they refuse to allow that man to average a point a game. Just let him average a point a game. It's not that difficult. He's a point a game player. Now, literally 4 seconds ago, I was talking about how this game does not respect the Columbus Blue Jackets. It hates the Columbus Blue Jackets. It also hates the St. Louis Blues. So honestly, it was kind of a fitting simulation here. Kent Johnson leads the way with 65 points. The real question is, what our man Darnell Richmond do? I was hoping for 5 goals this season, and what do you get? 4 goals, 3 helpers for 7 points, and 58 shots. You know what? I'll take it. On top of the 4 goals though, he also had 1 game winner, so I feel like that should be worth something. But you know what? I already made the rules here, so game winners aren't going to be worth anymore. But between all of these stats right here, he's going to be walking away with 25 attribute upgrades. Unfortunately though, he's not going to be walking home with a Stanley Cup, as the Columbus Blue Jackets were complete and utter frauds, and the Winnipeg Jets are going to be winning the Stanley Cup. Now apparently the Columbus Blue Jackets believe all their failures were due to Darnell Richmond, and they kicked him off the team. They didn't just not re-sign him, no, they kicked him off the team. They said, we don't want him on the team anymore. Just straight kicked him off, terminated his contract. They didn't even let him walk to free agency. They said, get off our team. So he's moving over to Vancouver. So with the 25 upgrades we got for Darnell Richmond, we're going to be able to max out his offensive awareness, and that's going to be used in 22 upgrades right there. With the other 3 remaining upgrades, I technically could throw it on defensive awareness, but you know what? We're actually going to throw that on shooting. Considering Darnell is a power forward and he's taking a lot of shots here, probably wouldn't hurt to upgrade that. So his slap shot power is going to go up 3. Actually, I take that back. Wrist shot power is going up 3. So his wrist shot power is now up to 39. He has maxed out offensive awareness. Darnell, the sky's the limit for you now. Now, hopefully the Vancouver Canucks decide to treat Darnell Richmond with a bit more respect. Yeah, he's only a 36 overall, but 99 offensive awareness, 4 stars in his senses. Bro can sense absolutely everything. He can see sound. That's how high his senses are right now. Bro is absolutely elite. He's not going to be able to be stopped here. With Darnell Richmond on their bottom 6, I'm not going to lie, we could potentially be looking at a 65 win team. That's how much he can impact your roster. I could also see them finishing as a 25 win team as Darnell Richmond on the bottom 6, but that's neither here nor there. Darnell's elite. We got shut out in game number 1. I'm going to stop talking. So Vancouver, I'm happy to see that you appreciate Darnell Richmond, and with him on the team, you are going to make the postseason. A 41-36-5 record. Were we a great team? Absolutely not, but that doesn't matter. The boys are still in the postseason here, and with Darnell Richmond having maximum offensive awareness, I'm excited to see what his numbers are going to be this season. I don't expect they're going to be too great, but he is going to be picking up 6 goals and 1 assist for 7 points, 67 goals this season, career highs across the board, 3 game winners from Darnell Richmond. Nah, he's locked in right now. So before we even get to the postseason with Darnell Richmond, he's already received 29 attribute upgrades, and you know what? I do believe this team can win a Stanley Cup because we have NHL 25 Thatcher Demko on the team, and as long as you have NHL 25 Thatcher Demko, you're going to be able to compete. We have the LA Kings in the first round. Let's get Darnell Richmond as first. I'm also starting to realize how incredibly unreasonable it would be for Darnell Richmond to win 5 Stanley Cups, because you do have to realize for the first half of this video, he's a complete and utter liability on the bottom 6. Like, whenever he's out there, the opposition has a very good chance at scoring. We split the series with the LA Kings. A Thatcher Demko show it's going to be stealing us game number 5. Can we steal game 6 as well? Yes, we can. We're moving on to the second round. Here. But yeah, we do have to remember, Darnell Richmond, at this point in time, a massive liability when he's on the ice. He's clearly not the 99 overall he used to be, but are we going to go on a bit of a run here? We've dropped 2 straight games. This is going to be 3 straight. No, it's not. We have a chance to make it to the conference finals if we can win game 6, but it looks like we're off to game 7 elimination. So we got ourselves game 7 elimination. If the Vancouver Canucks can steal this one away, we're going to be moving on. I do believe we're going to steal this one away. It's been a very high scoring game, but I think we should be able to hold off in the third period, and that's exactly what's happening because we're just going to score 2 more goals. An 8-goal performance. The boys are looking elite right now. And you know what? Since we're looking so elite, we might as well not stop here. Let's just keep on simulating. So we're moving on to the conference finals, and we get to take on the Dallas Stars. Could Darnell potentially be taking home his first Stanley Cup this season? Well, if we beat the Dallas Stars, we're going to be in the Stanley Cup final, and that's exactly what's happening. A win in game number 5. Just kidding. It's going to be a win in game number 6, and we're in the Stanley Cup final. Who are the Vancouver Canucks going to be taking on? The Boston Bruins. Vancouver versus Boston. An old-fashioned rivalry matchup. It's a rematch from 2011, I believe. I think it was 2011. I don't even remember. It was 2010 or 2011, but that doesn't matter. We have a 3-2 series lead, and the Vancouver Canucks are going to close it out. We allowed 8 goals. Thatcher Demko, I need you right here. I need Thatcher Demko in game number 7. I need game 7, NHL 25, Thatcher Demko to show up when it matters. Drew O'Connor's picking up the first goal of the game. It's going to be a scoreless second period. The third period is going to decide this one. Can the Vancouver Canucks win a Stanley Cup here? We're going to be allowing 2 goals. We know what, we're still staying alive in this one. We got game 7 overtime of the Stanley Cup final, and in the Stanley Cup final, Dakota Joshua scoring the overtime winner. Darnell Richmond is going to begin his first Stanley Cup this season, and I said 5 Stanley Cups was unreasonable. We just got our first. So Darnell finally won his first Stanley Cup. It didn't take us too long. We're only in season number 4. But Richmond, what'd you do during the postseason? 1 goal, 1 assist for only 2 points. Now you have to remember, all the stats you recorded here, they're worth double. So in the postseason, he's going to be receiving 13 attribute upgrades, 10 from shots, 2 from goals, and then 1 from assists. Now we're going to multiply that by 2, so we actually got 26 upgrades during the postseason, and then if you factor in what we did in the regular season, 55 attribute upgrades for Darnell Richmond. That's going to be helping us a ton here. So after that Stanley Cup win, Darnell Richmond decided he was going to part ways with the Vancouver Canucks. He wants to try to win Stanley Cups with multiple teams here, so he's going to move on to the Tampa Bay Lightning next. Nothing but love from Vancouver. Columbus is the ops though. So here's what we're going to do. 26 upgrades can be used to wrist shot power, and that's going to get that up to a 65. Then with the rest of our attribute upgrades, we're going to use that on wrist shot power, and then that's going to get up to a 65 as well. So Darnell Richmond, with his improved offensive awareness and the fact that he can actually shoot the puck a little bit now, we're going to start receiving a lot more attribute upgrades. So with Darnell Richmond actually able to shoot the puck now, I'm expecting big things from him. And when I say I'm expecting big things, I mean like 8 or 9 goals. That's about it. He still can't do anything else other than shoot. And even when it comes to shooting, he's not that great. It's half a star in shooting. Bro's still a complete and utter fraud. But then again, we do have to realize he had 17 different career-ending injuries. So I think he's doing pretty good. So after winning a Stanley Cup, Darnell Richmond, you know what? He had dreams of winning more. He wants to win 4 more before he reaches a 99 overall. Well, he doesn't have to worry about winning one this season because the boys didn't even make the postseason. Tampa was a disappointment here. I don't know why we were this much of a disappointment, but we were. Darnell Richmond, did you record at least 10 points this season? That's what I'm kind of hoping for. Oh, you recorded points. and it was certainly more than 10. 13 goals, 3 assists for 16 points, 118 shots on top of that. That's going to be a lot of upgrades. So he's going to get 29 upgrades from shots alone. Then he's going to get another 29 upgrades from 13 goals and 3 assists. So that's going to equal 58 attribute upgrade boosts for Darnell Richmond. That's going to be big. We had 55 last season. Now we're going to be walking away with 58 here. Unfortunately, he's not winning a Stanley Cup. Like, upgrades are great and all that, but Stanley Cups are also great, and I wish we got one of them here. So Tampa's absolutely furious with Darnell Richmond, and I don't even know why. Darnell Richmond didn't even play bad. So he said, you know what, terminate my contract right now. I don't want to play for you guys anymore. He's leaving the team, and now he's going to be joining the Dallas Stars. Now, it's a shame what happened in Tampa Bay, but you know what, there's nothing you can do about that. We're just going to move on to upgrades. And when it comes to Darnell Richmond's upgrades, what we're going to be doing is 85 to wrist shot power and 85 to wrist shot accuracy. So that's going to use up 40 of our attribute upgrades, but we're going to have 18 left. And what we're going to do with those 18 is we're going to put it to defensive awareness, and we're going to get that up to a 54. So now Darnell's going to be a somewhat decent defensive player. Not really, because he's still going to be incredibly slow when he can't win faceoffs, so basically can't do anything else. But he is going to have some more defensive awareness, and that definitely can't make him worse. Alright, so Darnell Richmond, you're going to be joining another fantastic team in the Dallas Stars. A team I believe is the Stanley Cup favorite. As long as everyone on this team stays healthy, they're going to be looking pretty elite. They're going to have a lot of LTIR room to work with. So I'm expecting this team to make some big moves at the trade deadline. They've already got Mikael Granlund. That's going to be a great addition for them. But Darnell Richmond, he's also going to be a great addition. Yeah, he's not really great at anything right now other than his offensive awareness and wrist shot power and accuracy, but he brings up the morale on the team, and that's really all you need. So Darnell Richmond, you brought a lot to this team, and that's going to result in the Dallas Stars being first in the entire league, a 49-26-7 record. Richmond could potentially be looking at his second Stanley Cup this season. Jason Robertson led the way, 96 points here, but we don't care what Jason Robertson did. We care about what Darnell Richmond did with the team, and what did he do? 13 goals, 3 assists for 16 points, 166 shots. That's going to be a lot of upgrades right there, and we still have the postseason to look forward to, so we know for a fact he's getting more upgrades than just this. I also guess it wouldn't hurt if we highlighted Jake Ottinger's numbers: 35 wins, 1 shutout, a 913 to 291. So shout out to the Otter, he held up his end of the bargain. But how in the world did the Blackhawks just make the postseason? And now that I see we're taking on Chicago in the first round, we are guaranteed to lose. Also, the San Jose Sharks made the postseason. What is this Western Conference? Chicago and San Jose? What is going on here? Buffalo made the postseason? Nothing makes sense here. No, real talk, nothing is making sense. How in the world did the Chicago Blackhawks win 2? How'd they win 3? What am I witnessing here? No way the Blackhawks are beating us. We're just going to simulate these games. I'm not jumping into any of them. Nope. We have to beat the Chicago Blackhawks. A 3-1 series comeback. We got shut out. We lost to the Chicago Blackhawks. We were first in the entire league, and we lost to the Chicago Blackhawks. Ain't no way. So Richmond, 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points. You had 12 shots. What did I witness? So with the 70 upgrade points Darnell Richmond received during the regular season and the 16 upgrade points he received during the postseason, we're going to be walking away with 86 attribute boosts for Darnell Richmond. That's going to turn this man to a completely different player. Now, normally when Darnell Richmond changes teams, it's because the team doesn't want them on their team anymore. However, it's actually the opposite this time. Darnell doesn't want to play for Dallas anymore after losing to the Chicago Blackhawks. You can't recover from that. So 86 upgrade points for Darnell Richmond is actually huge, and I think we're just going to spend a majority of them on shooting. We got to make sure this man can score goals, so we're going to do 40 points to slap shot power, and that's going to get it up to a 76. Now that he has that up to a 76, we're going to do the exact same with slap shot accuracy. That's going up to a 76 as well. And then with the remaining 6 points, we're just going to throw that on defensive awareness. I feel like that's just the smartest thing here. Get that up to a 60. So although Darnell Richmond basically can't skate, can't deke, has 0 aggressiveness, can't win a faceoff to save his life, he can somewhat shoot the puck here, and that's going to result in more goals, which is the most important upgrade, and that's also going to result in a lot more shots. That's going to lead to some more attribute upgrades for him, and that's the best thing we could get. Now on the Anaheim Ducks, Darnell Richmond's going to get a chance to play on the second line here, and why is that? Because this team has basically no high overalls whatsoever. Like, Troy Terry's one of the best players. Also, where's Trevor Zegras? Shouldn't he be in the lineup? I have no clue where Trevor Zegras is. No, seriously, where is Trevor Zegras? Okay, I guess he's a healthy scratch. These are head coach preferred lines, and they want him as a healthy scratch. So if that's the case, then yeah, that's what he's going to be. I have no clue what this game is cooking up here. Trevor Zegras is going to be a healthy scratch. Doesn't really make too much sense to me. But yeah, this is what we're doing. Darnell Richmond, you're finally getting some top 6 minutes. This Anaheim Ducks team is atrocious, so you might as well. I call this Anaheim Ducks team atrocious. There's a very good chance they finish ahead of St. Louis in the standings. St. Louis is in the absolute trenches right now. So Darnell went for playing on the best team in the entire league to the second worst. Not much of a surprise. We all saw that Anaheim Ducks team. It was not looking good. Darnell Richmond, how many points did you finish with? Way less than I expected. I was thinking you were going to do big things here. What did you actually do? 19 goals, 4 assists for 23 points isn't bad with 214 shots. That's going to lead to the most upgrades you've seen yet. So he's gained 53 attribute upgrades from shots, and then he's going to get another 42 from his goals and assists, and that's going to lead to 95 attribute upgrades for Darnell Richmond. He's going to be maxing out his shooting categories. Then we're going to start working on some other things. Because Darnell, he still has to win 4 more Stanley Cups by the time he reaches a 99 overall, and things aren't looking too good. He's starting to pick up upgrades a lot quicker now, so it's only a matter of time before he reaches a 99 overall and gets back to his prime. Alright, so hopefully we can get a better team here. I don't want to be landing on the Anaheim Ducks once again. Pittsburgh's not bad. They're not great, but I mean, they're better than Anaheim. So Darnell Richmond's finally going to have his shooting attributes maxed out. Slap shot power, slap shot accuracy, wrist shot power, wrist shot accuracy, all of that's going to be at 99. After maxing all that out, we still have 21 upgrades available, and I should do defensive awareness, but you know what? We're going to do something else instead. Let's get the passing going. So we're going to do 14 attribute upgrades to passing. That's going to get up to a 50, and then with the remaining 7, we'll go to defensive awareness. So that's going to move his defensive awareness up to a 67. Darnell's ready to take over the league now. Yeah, he still can't skate and can't do a lot of other things, but he can score goals. So we went from the Dallas Stars, first in the entire league and being upset in the first round by the Chicago Blackhawks. Then we went to the Anaheim Ducks and finished second last in the entire league. Pittsburgh finished somewhere in between those two teams. Now Pittsburgh, when I said finish between the Dallas Stars and the Anaheim Ducks, I didn't mean finish closer to Anaheim. 25th in the entire league, a 36-41-5 record. Darnell Richmond can't even save you guys. Crosby only had 79 points, so he was a massive failure. But then again, nobody on this team was good, so I can't really put any blame on Crosby here. Darnell Richmond, what'd you do? Doesn't look like you did really too much here. Richmond, where are you? What'd you do? Did I just completely miss your name? I must have completely missed your name here. Oh yeah, I did. I did not expect you to have 48 goals. Was not expecting that. I was assuming you wouldn't even have 48 points, so I just completely passed over Darnell Richmond, but nope. 48 goals, 3 assists, 51 points, 223 shots taken. 10 game winners. Okay, you should probably play in the top 6 from here on out. So with an incredible season like this, Darnell Richmond's walking away with so many upgrades, it's ridiculous. He's going to be getting 96 alone just from his goal scoring, but he's going to be finishing with 154 upgrade points. That's going to be helping him a lot here, and with that many points right there, we're going to be able to max out a couple attributes. Unfortunately though, it doesn't really mean too much considering this team missed the playoffs. Darnell, this wasn't even your fault. You had an incredible season, and I wasn't expecting you to be this good, but here we are, missing the playoffs once again. But that's not going to happen too many more times. Darnell's reached the point that no matter what team he joins, he's going to be benefiting them. He's joined the Carolina Hurricanes, and he's going to bring some needed goal scoring to this team. Now, with the amount of upgrades that we just received there, we are actually able to max out 2 attributes, and we're still going to have some left over. So where are we going to upgrade here? Well, we're going to upgrade speed. We're going to max it out to a 99, and then we're going to do the exact same with agility. So after maxing out both of these attributes, we're going to have 28 upgrades left, and I think we'll just throw down defensive awareness and try to complete that. So if we throw those remaining upgrades on defensive awareness, we're going to get that up to a 95. So not only does he have the best offensive awareness in the game, but now he has the best defensive awareness. We only need 4 more upgrades to max that out. Then we're going to be looking at the rest of his attributes. So Darnell Richmond, although you're still a 36 overall, you don't play like a 36 overall. You had 48 goals last season, I believe. I don't remember if it was 48 or 49. All I know is you absolutely dominated last season. Now you can actually skate this season. You have great speed, you have great agility. The sky's the limit for Darnell moving forward. Now this is something Darnell Richmond loves to see, 5th in the entire league, so we're actually going to make the postseason. A 48, 31-3 record. We got to win a Stanley Cup here. With the way Darnell Richmond's progressing, he doesn't have nearly as many years left in the league as we think. Like, he's had 65 goals this season, and he's playing on the 3rd line. 65 goals, 1 assist, 323 shots. That right there is so many upgrades, it's hard for us to comprehend. Like, before we even get into the postseason, that's 211 upgrade points right there, 130 of them coming from his goal scoring alone. And we know for a fact Darnell's going to be shooting in the postseason, so he's going to get even more upgrades. Yeah, we got to win basically 4 straight Stanley Cups to finish off this video. I don't really know how many years left we have. I don't think it's actually that many. We're taking on Tampa Bay first. Carolina, you better be locked in. Like, we can't afford to be losing in the postseason season anymore. And having a guy like Darnell Richmond on the bottom six is certainly going to be helping a ton here. Carolina has a 3-1 series lead. They're going to close out in game number 5. They're moving on. So that was a big win from Carolina. They're moving on to their second round matchup, and they're going to see the New York Islanders. So the Islanders are up next, and I believe that Carolina should be able to take this team down. We might split the series through the first 2 games, but you know what? We have a 3-1 series lead yet again, and we're going to be closing it out, but we're not closing it out in game number 5. We're closing it out in game number 6. Just kidding. We're off to game 7. What are we doing here? We had a 3-1 series lead, looking at making the conference finals, and now we're in game 7, and we're losing in game 7. No, we aren't. Darnell Richmond, game winner in the 3rd period. I can see it happening. We're going to be exchanging goals. Darnell Richmond, game 7, overtime winner. We're about to witness it. And Darnell Richmond, he didn't score, but Sebastian Aho did, so at least we're staying alive. Alright, this is by far the strangest conference finals I've seen. The Carolina Hurricanes taking on the Buffalo Sabres, and the Calgary Flames taking on the Winnipeg Jets. What am I witnessing right now? Like, out of all of these teams, the only one I can see realistically making it to the conference finals is the Carolina Hurricanes. Winnipeg, although you're one of the best teams in the league right now, I will never believe in you, because for some reason I feel like whenever you have a good team, you somehow choke. It doesn't matter if you go 82-0, you will always find a way to lose in the most important games. I don't really understand it, but yeah, we just allowed 8 goals. How in the world did we just allow 8 goals? But yeah, Winnipeg, I think you guys are a great team, but for some reason, I don't know what it is, you always choke in the most impressive fashion. You just lost to the Buffalo Sabres. They won a Stanley Cup. That's a lot of nonsense right there. So unfortunately, Darnell Richmond's not going to be picking up a Stanley Cup here. However, he is going to be picking up a lot of attribute upgrades. 17 goals, 1 assist for 18 points, 81 shots. That is a lot of upgrades. So here's what Darnell's upgrades are for this season and this season alone. He received 110 from the postseason. From the postseason alone, he got 110. And then from the regular season, he got 211. So we got 321 upgrades heading into this next season. Yeah, he's going to be jumping into the top 6 for sure. Darnell Richmond has certified himself as a top 6 player, and now he has to go to Chicago. He is now a first line player. So after that massive season, 5 attributes can be completely maxed out to a 99. So what attributes are those going to be? Acceleration, that's going to go up to a 99. I feel like that's going to be pretty useful for him. Granted, I don't know how useful acceleration actually is when it comes to simulation, but you know what? Darnell Richmond needs that. He also needs deking, so we're going to max that out to a 99. That's very important for Darnell. He likes to snap people's ankles. Probably wouldn't hurt if Darnell could block some shots. He needs to start doing something on the defensive end, so that's definitely going to be useful for him. Another thing that probably could be pretty useful, hand-eye, get those deflections when he's battling in front of the net, so I'll max that out to a 99 as well. And then to finish it off here, we're also going to max out strength. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty useful one as well, so that's going to be maxed out to 99 as well. And then with all of that maxed out, we're left with 6 upgrades. We're going to use 4 of them right here to max out defensive awareness, and then we're going to add 2 to passing, and we're going to get his passing attribute up to a 52. So there you go, Darnell. You're up to a 65 overall. You're an absolute beast, and you're going to get some top line minutes on Chicago, because even at a 65 overall, you're basically going to be the best player on the team besides Bedard. So Richmond, you're up to a 65 overall, and you're going to be rewarded for that. You're playing top line minutes alongside Bedard and Teuvo Teravainen, and you're going to pick up 70 goals this season. There's going to be no one stopping Darnell Richmond. Bro is elite now. Yeah, there's a lot of attributes he's lacking in right now, one of those being puck control, another being stick checking, but you know what? That doesn't affect his scoring. Bro's going to light the lamp this season. Now, I'm assuming Darnell Richmond must have had one of the greatest seasons of all time if he got Chicago into the postseason. A 45-33-4 record. I know Bedard led the way with 103 points, but Richmond, what'd you do this season? He's picking up 63 goals and 7 assists for 70 points. That was a big time year from Darnell. So from the regular season alone, Darnell's going to be walking away with 223 upgrade points, but we still got the postseason ahead of us. So barring how long of a run Chicago goes on, he could be picking up a lot more points here. We're taking on the Edmonton Oilers in the first round. Edmonton's certainly going to absolutely destroy us. There is no way we're getting past Edmonton. Like, I'm being as nice as possible here. We are going to be absolutely destroyed by Edmonton. 8 goals in game number 1, 5 in game 3, 4 in game number 4. This game is all over. We do not stand a chance here. Yeah, we're out in 5 games. I really didn't expect Chicago to do too much, so I'm not overly surprised. But I guess we can take a quick look at Darnell Richmond's stats. He didn't really do too much, but we do have to remember all of these stats are worth double. So he's acquiring 28 attribute upgrades, and when you combine that with the 223 he got earlier, so he's going to be walking away with 251 upgrade points. So not quite as good as last season, but then again, we have to remember how many he got last postseason. That definitely skewed things quite a bit. Alright, so Chicago was absolutely blown out. Like, they stood no chance against Edmonton Edmonton. Darnell actually has a really good chance to win a Stanley Cup with this next team. He's going to be joining the New Jersey Devils. Darnell could be looking at another Stanley Cup here. So the first thing that we're going to do here is Darnell Richmond. We're going to max out your passing. So we're going to get that up to a 99. After spending those points on passing, we're still going to be able to max out 3 attributes. One of those is going to be puck control. So we'll get that up to a 99. The next we could probably go for here is endurance. I mean, at this point, I feel like it doesn't really matter. We just have to max out attributes. So endurance is going to get maxed out as well. And then we're going to have enough to max out one more. And I think we might go for face-offs here. That's going to give Darnell the chance to play center on a couple teams, because right now he hasn't been able to play center, even though that's his primary position, because bro can't win face-offs. So he has to play his secondary position. That's going to leave us with 15 more points here. And I think we're just going to spend all of that on poise. And we're going to get that up to a 51. So that's going to move Darnell Richmond up to a 76 overall. So now he's actually respectable overall. Now this is something that I haven't seen before, but we're going to go with head coach preferred lines. The head coach wants Darnell playing top 6 minutes. Although he's only a 76 overall, Sheldon Keefe's like, nah, I want Darnell Richmond in my top 6. I want this man scoring goals for us. So you know what? It's good to see Darnell finally getting his respect. So I'm not going to lie, I was kind of expecting New Jersey to be better than this, but at least we're in the postseason, 9th in the entire league. Darnell, I'm very excited to see what you did this season. Did you ellipse over a point a game? Yes, you did. 71 goals, 18 assists for 89 points, 348 goals. Yeah, Darnell's locking in now. Nobody's going to be able to stop him. When it comes to goaltending, we haven't looked at goaltending a lot in this video, but Jacob Markstrom's going to lead the way. 35 wins, 3 shots, and 907 and 282. It's time for the boys to lock in. Now, if we want to win 5 Stanley Cups with Darnell, we have to lock in right now. We probably only have 4 or 5 seasons left in this rebuild before he reaches a 99 overall, so we have to win when it matters. We're taking on the Islanders in the first round. New Jersey, I need you to go on a run here. So New Jersey, you have Darnell Richmond on the team. There's no way you're going to disappoint, right? You're going to absolutely fly through the postseason. We split the first 4 games. We're going to move on to this next game and we're getting shut out. What is going on? Why is Darnell Richmond just unable to see success even though he is the greatest player of all time? Like, this is Darnell Richmond we're talking about. Yeah, he's dealing with a lot of injuries, but he's slowly getting back to his prime self. He's picked up a goal in this one. We're probably going to need another goal from Darnell if we want to win this game. You know what? Darnell might not have scored, but we're still taking it 6-5. Now we got game 7. So game 7 between the Islanders and the New Jersey Devils. Darnell wants to make it to the second round. He wants to hoist multiple Stanley Cups, so he's going to pick up 2 goals in this game. Can he get the hat trick in this one? He's not getting the hat trick, but 7 goals is more than enough. So we were able to get past the New Jersey Devils. Carolina's going to be following in the first round, so we're taking on the New York Rangers. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, the New York Rangers on paper, they look like a great team, but then you watch them play in real life. So what are they actually? Like, I feel like the Rangers are incredibly hit or miss. Like, they have the potential to be an amazing team, and then they don't perform like it. We've dropped 2 straight games. Is it going to be 3 straight? Yes, it is. We got to lock in here. We got to win back-to-back games once again. But you know what? We've done it before, so we can do it again. Game number 6 between the Devils and the Rangers. The Devils have to win this one. 3 goals in the first period is going to be more than enough. We're taking this one 4-0. We got game 7 now. So we've already won 1 game 7. Can we win another game 7 here? We're going to be allowing the first 2 goals. That's not really ideal. We're actually allowing the first 3 goals. Nico Hischier is going to score a late one in the second period. Hopefully that's going to build some momentum for the third. And you know what? That's exactly what it's doing. Darnell Richmond, a late third period goal, is going to tie this one up. And in overtime, can we score another one here? Adam Fox is going to pot the winner. We're going to be falling in the second round. Richmond did everything he could there, but it still wasn't enough. So Colorado is going to go on to win the Stanley Cup, taking down the New York Rangers in 7 games. The Rangers went to a 7-game series in every one of their matchups, but it looks like in that final one, they were just unable to win. Darnell Richmond, you had a pretty solid postseason. I saw how many goals you were scoring. You were a point a game in the postseason, including 12 goals and 65 shots. So we're going to be looking at 300 plus upgrades once again here. So after the great postseason Darnell had and the historic regular season, we're going to be walking away with 331 attribute upgrades. With all of these upgrades, Richmond's probably going to be up to an 85 overall, and then it's only going to take 1 or 2 more seasons after that. So it might not even be possible for him to win 5 Stanley Cups anymore. One thing that would help us win some Stanley Cups though is landing on good teams. Philly, you weren't really the team I was thinking of. I would have preferred Edmonton. If we went to Edmonton, we definitely would have been walking away with one, but nope, we got Philly instead. So we'll be lucky if we even make the playoffs. So once again, we're going to be able to max out 5 attributes. The first one's going to be body checking, and then basically we've maxed out everything from speed to shooting. we have maxed out a lot of this stuff right here. I guess that means we can upgrade balance next, so that's going to be the next one. That's going to be another 63 points right there, and with those two attributes, we're up to a 93. Okay, we might only have one season left after this one. Durability, we're going to max that all the way out, and is that going to give him up to a 95 overall? Yes, it is. And we still have two more attributes we can upgrade all the way. Poise, we're going to hold off on that one, but maybe we can't really hold off on it. I mean, we'll do discipline here, max that all the way out, so that means we can max out one more attribute all the way, and I guess that's going to be stick checking. So Darnell Richmond's going to be up to a 97 overall, and we actually are left with 16 attribute upgrade points, so we'll throw that on poise. So that's going to get his poise up to a 67 rating. And with that upgrade complete, Darnell Richmond's almost back to his prime self. Now Darnell, this is likely your second last season because you're going to be up to a 99 overall. Like, there's only like 3 attributes we have to max out, so no matter what you do this season, we're going to have enough upgrade points. But Darnell, you've only won 1 Stanley Cup, and it's disappointing because you should have more than 1 Stanley Cup. But you know what? Things are going to change right now. You're going to win one with Philly, and then you're going to win one with your final team. So Darnell, it's time for you to lock in and basically just carry the way. We can't trust anyone else on Philly. You have to do it all yourself. Alright, so we don't have to worry about calculating attribute upgrades because we know for a fact that we're going to have enough. 18th in the entire league with Darnell Richmond. How is that even possible? Bro picked up 114 points, and how many of them were goals? 87. So yeah, he had 87 goals this season. We're definitely going to have enough points for attributes here. 456 shots is a career season from Darnell, so he's reached 99 overall, but can he win 2 more Stanley Cups? That's the real question. Erson's the starting goaltender. That has me a little bit concerned considering he's only an 83 overall, but if he can win the most important games, that's really all that matters. But we do have a tough matchup in the first round. We got the New Jersey Devils. So New Jersey's going to be a tough matchup. I've made that incredibly clear here. We're dropping game number 1. We're going to respond in game 2. We're responding in game 3, but we're going to split the series as we drop game number 4. So game 5 is an important one. We're going to be dropping that, and now we're facing elimination. Definitely not the spot I want to be in. Considering we're the Philadelphia Flyers, I don't want to ever be trailing in these series. As long as we're ahead, we're going to be in a great spot, but we're not in a great spot right now, but we are picking up a lot of goals. We're going to be shutting the New Jersey Devils out. We got ourselves game 7. What's with all the game 7s in this video? I have no clue, but I feel like we've gone to a lot of game 7s. And the one thing I'm concerned about is although we've gone to a lot of game 7s, we've been 50-50 in game 7s. We haven't been dominating in game 7s, but we haven't been dominated in game 7, so it's 50-50 every time, and it looks like this time it's going to be the New Jersey Devils taking us down. Darnell Richmond not showing up in the most important game. That's just not like him. Darnell normally excels in these situations, but not today. Granted, he did have 6 goals and 4 assists for 10 points. He did everything he could. The rest of the team just didn't step up when we needed them to. So with this season complete, we got 1 more for Darnell. We need him to lock in. We got to get 1 more cup. Now let's be honest here. Was 5 Stanley Cups as a goal reasonable? I don't think so. But you know what? We're going to be joining the best team in the NHL right now, the Washington Capitals. Darnell's going to be joining their team. And with the addition of Darnell, I can't see the Capitals losing. So it's time for us to max out the rest of the attributes. Darnell Richmond's back in his prime. He's recovered from all of his injuries, and he's back to the player he used to be. 99 overall, Darnell Richmond. Let's get that fighting skill up. You know Darnell can throw them from time to time, and every single time he's throwing them, he's winning every fight. 99 in every single attribute category. Darnell's back in his prime. He's recovered from all the injuries, and he's ready to win another Stanley Cup. So here we go. 1 final season for Darnell. He's back to his prime. 99 in every single attribute. He's back to being the perfect player. He's gone through a lot of trials and tribulations here. After recovering from 24 different career-ending injuries, he's back and he's ready to win. So here we go in our final season. The Winnipeg Jets are finishing ahead of us, a team that I said I won't believe in because they're always complete frauds and they always find a way to fold. They're finishing ahead of the Washington Capitals. That's the perfect way to end this. Darnell Richmond, did you score 100 goals? Only 81 goals this season. Very surprised at that. 59 assists. Bro was passing the puck for some reason. I understand you were playing on the same line as Alexander Ovechkin, so it kind of makes sense that you were passing the puck, but you're Darnell Richmond. Darnell Richmond scores goals, and that's what he does. He scores goals and he takes names. Logan Thompson, 39 wins, 4 shots, and 910 to 267. But the real question is, Darnell, can you score when it matters most? We have the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round. We are not losing. I refuse to lose in the playoffs, especially in the first round. Like, losing in the first round is bad enough. Losing in the first round in the final season, that's even worse. But losing in the first round in the final season to the Toronto Maple Leafs, no, that's not happening. We've split the series so far, moving into game number 5. Why am I not surprised? In the past 5 years, I feel like we've lost game number 5 almost every time. It's getting ridiculous. Why do we always lose game number 5? Darnell, I need you to get the goal scoring going. I guess Darnell doesn't have to score. We're still going to take this one 2-1. But why do we always lose game 5? I feel like our win record in game number 5 has to be like 1-30 at this point. We just don't win game number 5. If we ever have to play a game 5, we're going to lose it. Mangiapane and Protas are picking up 2 goals in the first period. In the second, we're going to be doubling down. We got this one in the bag, a 5-2 victory. Where was the core for when Toronto needed them? They completely vanished. We're moving on to our second round matchup. I don't even want to stop here. We have the New Jersey Devils. Now, what are the odds we drop game number 5 in this series? Ideally, we don't even need game number 5. We just sweep the New Jersey Devils, but nope, we split the series, and now we're going to drop game number 5. I can see it all happening. Surprisingly, we're actually winning that one in overtime. Is this team showing up when it matters? Hold on, wait a minute. The Washington Capitals are winning games here. They won game number 5. They won game 6. We're not losing from here on out. We're down 3-1 in the series. That aged bad incredibly quick. So we got game number 5 elimination. I don't want to drop game number 5 here. Of course we're losing game number 5. Why am I not surprised? Darnell, did you score at all in this series? I feel like Darnell was not scoring goals. We lost in game number 5. It's kind of ironic that we're losing in game number 5. Oh no, Darnell was good. 9 goals, 10 assists for 19 points. He just didn't score in any of the elimination games. So if we take away those 3 elimination games, he had 9 goals in 15 games. I don't know how in the world Darnell Richmond only won 1 Stanley Cup. Like, we have to remember, we just added a prime Darnell Richmond to the Washington Capitals, and even with a prime Darnell Richmond, he still wasn't able to get another one. Bro got a Stanley Cup when he was like a 36 overall, but when he's a 99 overall, back in his prime, joining the best team in the NHL, he can't win a Stanley Cup. I don't know how that works, but Darnell, it's good to see you've recovered from all those injuries, but too bad we couldn't get you a few more Stanley Cups.